Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Adkins here alongside my homie, my partner with the Restart Small Business stuff. I mean, we're just having a blast with this. This is Liana Ling. How are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. How's everybody doing?
I hope everybody's doing good. It is literally, we were 70 degrees yesterday, and it is like freeze warnings out now.
We're
Um,
supposed to get snow tonight.
you gotta love it, right? You gotta absolutely love it. So it is super super fun. And speaking of fun, I'm not going to do a lot. If anybody needs an intro as to what this is, we'll give you a link in the chat. You can go to the first episode. You can get a good idea of what we're doing. We're getting into it today. Like the whole idea behind this, just if you need a quick intro, is we are coming out of the weirdest freaking time in small business in at least in my memory. And I have said it for a year at this point. This is going to be the greatest transfer of customers between businesses that we have ever seen. And the thing is if you run a small business or you help small businesses, you need to know how to restart. Even if you've been going all the way through, how do you use this to your advantage? And I mean, that may sound a little bit terrible considering what we've all been through together. But the idea is if you can do good things in your business, you can support your employees, you can support yourself, you can support other small businesses that surround you. It's all about making sure that you have what you need to get back in the mix and do big things and come back stronger than you even were before pandemic levels. So that's what Restart Small Business is all about. I'm sure that as we keep going with this, Liana and I will come up with lots of fun things that we want to include in this. But right now, we got some pretty simple stuff. And what I mean by simple is this: we're going to show you today, or rather, Liana's going to show you today. She's going to show you how to go out there and do something that is going to help a business get going. If you're a business owner, whether this is your niche or not, this is going to be something that's helpful to you because you can apply these lessons to your business. If you're an agency owner who helps businesses with marketing, this is something you're going to be able to go and take right away and go do. So with all that said, I'm going to get the heck out of the way. I'm going to pass the screen over to you, my dear friend, and I'm going to let you do all of your magic that you always do. And I'm going to do what I always do when you're doing your magic, take notes, because I always pick up lots of stuff. So I'm going to do the fun where I'm not smooth at all, but I try to pretend that I am, where I try to make you presenter in a smooth way, and it never goes the way I plan, but I always try really hard. So I guess that counts for something. There, it was pretty smooth. It's almost like we know what we're doing. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna blame you for doing it right. I had nothing to do with that. So good job. I'm gonna get out of the way. I'm gonna turn my camera off so I can just watch you, and take it away, my friend, and tell everybody what you're gonna be teaching us about today.
All right, let's get started. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be walking you through a campaign for both getting restaurant leads and also how you can create campaigns for your new restaurant client. What I want to do is give you some tools, some tricks of the trade from the pros in terms of how you can use this to not just restart your own business, but also the local businesses in the community that you're serving. I'm going to be going through the structure of how I go through this. So it'll literally be like looking over my shoulder as I create these. And this time around, I'm sharing it all for you guys. I'm sharing my secret superpower bonus here because this is really what this one is all about. This is going to set you apart from everybody else in your community doing this type of business, and it never fails to wow clients. And when I show this to you, also, I think you'll be amazed at how quick and easy it is to do this. So, but I also want to make sure I cover the foundation, and by popular request, I'm also going to cover in detail what you need to do to help businesses with the iOS 14 update and how you can leverage it as well for your agency. Now, if you have any questions, I love interactive webinars, presentations, whatever you want to call this, because I think that we all get the most out of it. So if you have any questions, we do have a number of people checking the chat. So make sure you put QQQ in the question box, and Ben will pick it up and let me know. And I am totally fine with being interrupted, especially if you need clarification on anything that we are going through. So let's dive in. Now, I just want to let you know, even if you think, well, I don't want to have restaurants as clients, that is totally fine. You can take what I'm going to show you here and you can just replicate it for any other type of business. So let's dive in. This is the main structure that I go through myself for any ad I'm doing, whether I'm working on a six-figure budget or like a minuscule budget. I follow these types of things all the time. So the first thing we want to do is I'm going to jump ahead and show you how to handle some of the little technicalities for the iOS 14 update that Facebook has rolled out. Unfortunately for small businesses, Facebook has actually made it more complicated and much more complex for any small business to not just start ads, but run ads on their platform. That is good news for you if you're out there to help small businesses, because now they have an even bigger reason to go to you, and you can provide this as an added service. You can provide it as something that you just want to help out the community. But the small business owners that I've been talking to ever since this has been rolled out are completely confused, overwhelmed, don't even want to handle it, and are so discouraged about running any type of ad. So you can be the one to actually jump in and help them with this. So I'm going to switch screens around. If you just wait a moment here, and I'm going to bring this in front. Now you should be seeing a Facebook Ads Manager in front here. So let me just make sure that that's what you can see, or let us know in the comments if that's what you are seeing. And I'm just going to keep going. And if you're not seeing something on the screen, please let us know in the questions and we'll jump in and fix it. So there's just two main areas that you need to help people with their Facebook ads with the iOS 14 update. And I'm just going to walk through this with you. First of all, always make sure that you let everybody know this is what you need ahead of time. You need access to the business manager. And by the way, to make this even more confusing, only the person who owns the actual business manager, so literally the owner, can do this. If they add you as a partner to the ad account, unfortunately, you can't do that. What I have done as a service for my clients is I've created a video. I just used loom.com. You can use the free version if you want to, walking them through each of these steps, and I'll actually send it to them. And I do that as a service as well. And it's really helpful and useful too, that I can just send it over to them. And I would recommend you do it. Of course, you're happy to use anybody else's that does it, but there is some power and magic, I think, in having it be you walk people through this, because it helps cement you as the authority and you as the connector in your community, and it will help you get more business as well as people go kind of look through this. I even had somebody who runs like a ton of ads saying, hey, Liana, you were on my radar because I know you were one of the first people to talk about this and show me how to do all this stuff. So there is power in that. That's why I would recommend you all do this if you can. So make sure you have access to the business manager settings and also where they have registered their domain, or where you can add in like a text record. It's not hard, but you need to have access to that. So make sure you have access to those two things with them. The first thing you want to do is go to business.facebook.com and make sure you're in the business settings area. This is the very first step. The first thing we need to do is verify the domain, which sounds a little bit scary, but it's actually not that hard to do once you get into here. And it should not be you, it needs to be the small business owner who owns this business manager account. So once you're in there, scroll down to brand safety and choose domains. Then click here and just click add. And I'll just put, I'm just going to put a made up domain here. I'm just going to put add domain. And you want to add every single domain that you're going to use for this client in their funnel. So if your funnel starts off in one place and then it goes to another domain, you need to verify both of those. And you only have to verify the top level domain. So if you used, for example, if you were using restartsmallbusiness.com and then something like, order.restartsmallbusiness.com, you only have to verify restartsmallbusiness.com. And they give you a couple of different options here. Notice as soon as I put in the ad, it says meta tag verification, HTML file upload. I do DNS verification because I find that faster to do. So this just has to get done. And you'll have to coordinate this with the client, whether you do it for them. Sometimes I'll just have them do this. I'll take this information and then I'll just log into their GoDaddy account or wherever they have their domain and register it and, just kind of move on with life. But this has to get done first, okay? This is first the step one. After you do this, the next step is to map the conversion events to the domain. However, when you do it right away and it's verified, you may notice that the events aren't available. That's because the events do need to be, they need to be fired first. So they have to be recognized by Facebook as with this domain, and then you can add it. So let's pretend you've already done that. So this would be step two. So that's why sometimes this needs more than one meeting. And again, unfortunately, the business owner has to do this. As a partner, you can't do it. So the next time you log in, once this is done, go back to business.facebook.com. But this time, I want you to go to the events manager. So it might be up here in your shortcuts. It might be down here. And it's going to look something like this. Well, actually, let me go to, so it might look something like this over here, okay? And what you want to do is you want to scroll down to the bottom until you see, it usually starts off this way. You want to find aggregated event measurement, and then just click this button, configure web events. And let's just take, so here you can see I already have one verified. And when you see the domain that you verified, you want to click here, and then you want to click Manage Events. It's going to give you some warning, and then you just click Edit. And then here's where you actually add the events. You can just click Add Event. It's pretty simple after this. Choose the pixel, and then choose the actual event name. It does ask you to do it in priority. So what I usually like to do is I usually like to put the purchase in top priority and the lead in the bottom priority. This is just really all about if there is a conflict, like if one person has multiples, it will go with the highest priority one. So I would prefer people to do purchase, but depending on what you're doing, you can totally put lead up there if you want, if you're doing mainly leads. So it's up to you. The main thing is you have to have these mapped, or else you will get a warning in Facebook for all of your ads. And once the iOS 14 changes update, Facebook will actually pause any ads that are not associated with the domain and events mapped over. So that's why this is really important. Okay. And I promised to go through this. Again, some people were asking in the group, so that's why I promised to go through this as well, to make sure everything's clear. So that's all you have to do in order to get people ready for the iOS 14 changes and to handle sort of the more technicalities of this. Like I said, I do know I've been talking to a lot of small businesses. They are so confused just over these two steps. So you being able to do this for them and providing it for them is a huge bonus and actually a lot of value. So unless there's any questions about this, I'm just going to jump into actually dealing with the ads that we're going to run today. So there aren't any questions. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, great. So I'm just going to pull up the agenda again. Okay, so now that that is confirmed, because that is definitely a step you need to go through, I'm going to speed through some of these. You can go back to episode 1 if you want to see me go through this in a little bit more detail, but this is the checklist that I'm going through to make sure that everything is in place before running an ad. And I'm going to show you how I create an ad for this campaign in real time so you can see how easy it is and then the kind of things that I do with this, okay? And I'm also going to walk through this ad copy checklist with you as well. And I'm going to show you how you can do it in, again, a really easy way with some of the bonus superpowers that I'm going to show you here today. So let me just jump over into the to the landing page we're going to start off with. So we went into customer engine here, and I've got one ready to go. This is for getting leads. I may or may not want to take out this 10K. I think I can try it. Sometimes Facebook does not like it when you actually have numbers like this in your landing page, but I think we can go ahead and try it out. So when I have this ready to go, and this is already passed through the checklist, again, you will get a copy of this presentation. I'm going to make sure Ashton has this to include with this recording. So you can go through the checklist, make sure that everything you have is here. The next thing you want to do is you want to think, okay, let's actually create the ad. And here's where my first superpower that I want to share with you. And I've been using this now for a couple of months, and it has been a game changer. So before I show this to you, actually, I would like to know, when you're creating ads, when you're doing the creative, what is the biggest challenge or stumbling block that you have when creating ads? Is it the creative? Is it writing the copy? I'd love to know what that is. So let's just take a look here. Okay, I'm starting to see, I'm taking a quick peek here. Okay, there's the copy, targeting.
Definitely
All right.
copy is the overwhelming one so far. Yeah.
I am so glad you're saying that, because I did not plan this out. That is the first superpower. I can tell you this has been a game changer. So first of all, my disclaimer, I am not saying do not hire copywriters. I am not against copywriters. I am not against investing in copywriters. I love my copywriter. I'm very protective of her, and I will never share her ever because I want to keep her forever. But when it comes to doing ads, especially when you have small businesses, maybe you have a limited budget, or also, sometimes I'm running ads, I have very big budgets sometimes, and I gotta move fast. In this day and age, your creative and your copy is crucial to the success of your ads. So this is something where you really, really have to, step up your game. First of all, I always make sure I have the landing page done first, okay? I always go from here. So here is my secret. I used to have my copywriter write everything, and then I would just go with what she provided. And that's great, but that can only get you so far. Sometimes I need to go from here to here. And sometimes, especially with these small business ones, like I just want to go fast. I do not want to wait like a week or a couple of days for a copywriter to come up with something and do it. I just want to move very quickly. And this is the way that I've been able to do this. I mentioned this before, but I want to go through it to show you how I'm actually using it and how you can too, because I got a couple of tricks here. So I am actually using a bot, and I think I have it up here already. Okay, I'm using a bot. I'm using a couple of them. Okay, I'm using a bot called conversion.ai, and you may have heard of it before because they just did another launch. Now it's not free, but all of these are, I can tell you, I have just from the first campaign that I ran using these bots has more than paid for itself. So I think that this is a really good tool. If you can, I would actually have more than one, just because you want to have more than one in case you want to have different styles. So I actually use conversion.ai, and I use something called headline.com. Now, interestingly enough, conversion AI has actually bought Headline, but right now they're two separate ones. I have a couple other ones too, but I found that these were two of the better ones. And also I found that Headline does give a slightly different style to it. So what I do here is I actually, again, it's kind of crazy simple. So we have this here, we've got the headline, right? I will literally take this, okay? I'm gonna copy this here. I'm gonna go into conversion.ai. I've got one set up over here. And look, I'm just gonna paste that in the product description. I'm gonna I'm just gonna call this content DFI. I can call it whatever I want. Like maybe I'm calling it my restaurant lead program, whatever it is that I want. Now here, the tone of voice, let's just do excited, okay? Let's just try that. So I'm gonna click generate AI content. The beauty of this is that it gives you ideas quickly, and it also gets you started, okay? Oh, I think it did it already just while I was talking. All right, look at this. So the green stuff here is what the AI has pushed out. Again, I have an English degree. I am not a direct response copywriter. I have studied and worked beside some of the best copywriters in the world, and I still like to use this, okay? And I will also tell you, I can't show them to you because of confidentiality, but I have put copy I've generated from bots against copy generated by human copywriters, and a lot of times the copywriter bot ones are winning ads. That's why I tell you that this has paid for itself over and over and over for me. So So here, it's got a couple here. You know what? I take a look at this. I don't just take a look at a few of them. I want to do it again. So maybe I want persuasive. No, let's go with mysterious. And so I'm going to generate some more. The key is to generate a bunch. And this also, by the way, this also does follow what pro copywriters, I asked this question in Clubhouse of people like David Deutsch, Paris Lampropoulos, John Benson, all these, Mark Machetti, all these other people, Mike Becker, these other people were like top line pro copywriters. Whenever I asked them, I was like, how do you get all your ideas? You know what they all said to me? They all said, I spend a lot of time to make a ton of options. If they're trying to come up with a headline, they've all told me, even Ed Dale has told me, he comes up with 100 different headlines. He takes the time to do it, and then they choose from there. This helps you go with that process. So we don't have their brains and their experience, but this definitely gets you very close. And take a look here. It's got some different ones here, okay? Now, you still have to go through and make sure it's compliant. I can't stress that enough. I will edit some of this. Like, so for example, this is saying a lot of 10,000 because I've got 10K in here. I'm not going to put $10,000. I'm not going to put that in my ad copy, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit, right? Like here, I might say, want to add want to increase food sales each month because I want to take out the U and I want to put the 10K in there. But look, this is already better than what I probably would have just written on my own. And I like it says it doesn't matter if your restaurant is big or small, etc. So, hey, I can do this. They made up this URL here. Again, it's just from the AI. But there's a whole bunch of, you can try other different types of voice. If you want to let me know in the comments, let me know. We can literally run it for you right now, right here. If you have like another, maybe I'm just going to put here friendly. Okay. Let's see what happens when we say friendly. And it's going to generate more for Miss here. So it only takes a few seconds. And then I'll also do it as well for the headlines. See, just done. Here it did again. And then it just created a whole bunch here. So I'm going to go through here and I might mix and match them. You can also see they have so many options here. There's also the headline. Okay, so we can do that as well with the headline. Sometimes if I'm not happy with the content, you can even go over here and use, like it's got the AIDA framework, the PAS framework. You can also get information from there. So it has a bunch of different options, but I might even use the photo post caption, especially if I wanted to maybe just see if it gives me something a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to use that here. And with Headline, they also have the same thing. Headline is similar. It gives you tone of voices to choose instead, but it's very, very similar. As you can see here, they have a bunch of different options here, and I'm usually using the primary and the headline as well for this. Again, I'll sometimes go to value proposition, pain, gain, etc., to try and get different options. But I will do this. I can tell you this has saved several campaigns that I have run, and it just works, and it gives you something that you can use right away, very, very quickly. Okay, so this is how you can help yourself and also enable you to run even more campaigns for clients. And I would strongly recommend that you use this little superpower. So if you found this helpful, do let me know in the comments as we keep going. I'm kind of keeping a little bit of an eye here. So, and what I like to do is I don't always know what voice I want. I kind of like how Headline has these for me to choose from. I tend to go with friendly or mysterious or professional or persuasive. Like I can type in persuasive, maybe like confident. Because we're doing Facebook, I do like to make it friendly because again, you're in Facebook and Facebook's a social network, right? So you want to make sure that you blend in a little bit. And a lot of times I am trying to come across with a very friendly voice. So I do find that's helpful. Mysterious, I put mysterious if I want something that has a little bit more questions, but asking questions in your ad copy is a little bit risky from a Facebook compliance perspective. So again, friendly tends to be a good medium. Also, if you say confident or persuasive, sometimes it goes a little bit too far over on the direct marketing side where it's making too many claims, like too many strong claims. But I think you need to generate a bunch of them so that you can just see what's there and then you can pick and choose from that. Okay. So that's what I would do for this particular campaign to try and get restaurant leads. Now, I'm going to go through also creating campaigns for your clients, but let's just keep going through with this one. Another thing that I do is targeting. So let me give you a couple little hints here about targeting. First of all, if you are targeting, and I have a little test ad set here for us to take a look at. If you're targeting a small community, I would just target that community by zip code and that's it. I wouldn't try and layer on interests on top of it. I would just go broad and do that and let your ad attract the right people to you. I think you're going to get, not I think, I know you're actually going to get better results. I mean, I do that with a local campaign. We just go zip codes. I've done it before where I've like spent all this time researching and trying to get interest, and those zip code ones, they win every time. So now I just target the zip code and I just work really hard on the creative so that it's attracting, it's like putting out the right vibe so that it's attracting the right people there. So that's what I would do first if you have like a very specific community that you're going after. If you do want to do something a bit broader, again, you need to be thinking a little bit creatively. So first of all, I would go in here, like we're looking for restaurant owners, right? So definitely type in restaurant, okay, and see what comes up. And I think we actually have a couple here. Like, so for example, restaurant owner, job titles, we've got that. Also, if you take a look here, if you scroll down a little bit, they do have an option here for, look at this, food and restaurant page admins. So theoretically, right, the owner of the restaurant or somebody in charge of marketing is pretty much likely to be the admin of the Facebook page. That's another one I would take a look at. I would also take a look at related interests. I've actually had some where I was going after brick and mortar businesses. So what I did was I actually researched and came up with point of sale interests because I figured, well, they're also probably interested or show interest in the point of sale stuff. So then I actually researched and tried to find brand names for point of sale and point of sale display and was able to get a bunch of small interests that way too. So you want to take a look at some side interests. In addition, do not discount broad interests. No kidding. I am running right now entrepreneurship. There's one called entrepreneurship, which is very, very broad, as you can see here. I am running a very targeted campaign right now for a very, very niche area in the auto industry. And I ran a lot of ads for a lot of different interests. And the ones that are winning right now that I'm scaling, they are going to an ad set that only has entrepreneurship as interests. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? But that's the way Facebook has been going right now, is they really do want to reward, you just letting the algorithm find the right people. The ad uses like jargon and it calls out the person in a way that doesn't infringe on the personal attribute rule in Facebook. But when you look at the ad, like, it's for this niche. However, it is in front of a very broad audience. So again, if you do want to use interest, don't discount trying these out. I would still try to be as targeted as you can with interest, but don't just set these aside and think, oh, I'm not going to use it because it's too broad. It actually may work. Okay, so factor that in when you are trying to figure out targeting, because I know targeting can be frustrating as well. I do have some other tricks up my sleeve, that I use for targeting, but really at the end of the day, the broad ones are actually working pretty well for us. So that should, I think, help also with stress with targeting. And as I said, go after smaller communities then. Super easy. You don't have to worry about targeting. Just put in the zip code and you're done with it. Okay. So that was my sort of first little superpower here. And let me just see if I can pull everything up again, just to show you where we're at. And again, if you have any questions, definitely let me know so I can I can help you as much as possible. Okay, so there were two little sort of Easter eggs I have here, but I can tell you that these two things put together make me stand out and definitely make some people think that I'm a bigger agency than I am. And I can compete with some of the bigger agencies that have a ton of different resources because I think I'm using them in a smart way as well. So the copy, that's huge. Like that to me, that's been a game changer for me. The second thing that I've also found as a shortcut is creating eye-catching videos for the content. So let me talk about that for a moment here. I'm going to show you how to do that with respect to a campaign you can create for your new client, your new restaurant client. So once you have this up and running, again, we just put up, we got the copy from Conversion AI. By the way, for this type of ad, I like to use Shutterstock. I like to use paid stock images. The reason is that I'm always looking for that little thing that's going to put me ahead of everybody else. So if it's paid, then it's less likely that everybody's going to use it. So it's less likely that everybody will use the same images, and it just makes me stand out a little bit more. You can definitely use Unsplash. That is free. You can use other options as well. This is just what I use. Sometimes I do use images from Unsplash. If your client has images, I'll try using that as well. But I'm just letting you know how my brain sort of thinks. If for a smaller investment, I can get more of like a jump ahead of everybody else, I'll do it because that will attract better quality clients to you. So for here, if I was looking for some images for this, I might just even use something with close-ups of some people texting, maybe. You can also put in restaurant owner as well. I'm just looking for stuff and I've gone through this before in more detail in the previous episode, but I'm looking for stuff that doesn't look too like this where they have their hands crossed. I don't like those. To me, it just looks a little bit too styled. You want it to look a little bit candid. Okay, so you want to take a look there, and then you also want to make sure you're testing men versus women and all that other stuff, right? So here it's like they're again this looks a little bit more natural. This one does not look natural, so I wouldn't use that. I have actually tested a bunch of them where they open, and I found that sometimes in this day and age, just having something where the word open really helps as well. But test it. So I like to test inanimate object. I like to test groups with people looking at you, facing. Ben was one of the first people I know when I went to one of his training. He's like, look for people who smile back at you. That is absolutely true. Okay, you want to this. I wouldn't use as much because it looks like, again, I don't have that connection with them because they're they're looking off the screen. They're not looking at me. I would definitely use these pictures where people are smiling back. So there's a whole bunch here, and again, there's other sources too. This is just my personal preference, but again, just it's also good too when you put in a search. I'll also quickly scroll up and down to see what sticks out to me. And that is likely something that may stick out for other people too when you show it in the newsfeed. So that's another little tip there. But in order for me to show you how to create show-stopping graphics, again, as quickly and easily as you can create content, which has also been a game changer for me. Let's move over and see if we're going to create a campaign for your actual client. So I just went into Customer Engine. This literally took me 5 minutes, if that, just to create a new one here. I will show you. I made a little screen with some examples. But let's say, for example, we want them to join the VIP program, right? Maybe you want to give them, 2 for 1. Here, I just went 10% off your next dinner, just something that the restaurant can provide. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the copy. And here, again, I'm going to pull up Conversion AI again to do this. But here's a little secret I'm going to give to you here. So let's go into Facebook ad text. Maybe I'm like, okay, you know what? This is, we want to get them to join our VIP program. I'm sitting here and thinking, what copy am I going to write for this? Let's go to the Facebook ads library. And I'm just going to type in here Facebook ads library. Let's look at what some other restaurants are running. So let me just choose here and put United States because I think that there's more in the US. And I'm just going to do all ads. And let's just type in restaurant, okay, and see what comes up. And let's take a look here. So, whoops, I don't want Restaurant City. I want a restaurant running some ads. So let's look at this one here, Lazy Dog Restaurant and Bar. Okay, they look like they're running a bunch of ads, and they are great. So they have a couple ones here. They have, oh, look at this, comfort food, family style meal. So this is what I'll do. You shouldn't copy somebody else's ad, right? You definitely shouldn't. But this is what I'll do. I will actually take this copy here, and I'll go to Conversion AI, and okay, let's put it in here. You know what? I don't even do that in the beginning. I'll just go to Content Improver right here, and I'm just gonna paste this in here, and let's just keep the tone of voice friendly, okay? And I'm just gonna go generate AI content. And so now I have something that's pretty good, I think, to start from, and it's just gonna rewrite it for me. And you can see here, look, it's already rewritten a bunch of these for me that now I can use in my Facebook ad. Isn't that kind of magical? You can also take this, and I can go back out here. You can actually go and see if it creates something different for you for your primary text. Let's put that in here. Let's just put, delicious restaurant. And let's just make it friendly again. So let's see what it comes up here. And you can see very, very quickly, I'm actually getting a bunch of content. It's not endless content, I would say, but yeah, look, they've got, I think these are actually some pretty good ones that I could use for this ad. I find that they tend to copy it as well, but as an output, but I don't care. Maybe you want to put, let's just put confident and see if that comes up with something different. So you just keep on doing this stuff, right? And then you've got more to test from. If you don't have and you can't afford to have the top copywriter in the world working for you, often you can win by just testing more things and getting to see what happens. And with local, you can get away with doing some stuff that's a little bit more informal. Okay, you can put out there, like I said, feels friendly. So here we've got this. Again, you also want to make sure that it is compliant. So I wouldn't put 3 emojis in a row, but maybe I'm going to keep like the yummy emoji here. Okay. But look, I've got a whole bunch of these here to try out, and I can just keep doing this. And I can just keep doing this, right? And now I've got the copy, and I'm going to do the same thing for the headline as well. So now I actually have the copy for this simple ad for this new restaurant client that I've landed. Okay. And, and it's short too. Like a lot of times these really short ads work well. That because we're doing restaurants, the images do have to be good. So hopefully you have something, like a picture of the entree, like an overhead shot or something. Okay. The first thing you're going to do, and somebody already mentioned this, is Canva. I do like Canva. So let me just pull up Canva for us to look at this here. I think I have something here. So here's something you could really do. I went to Canva. I just chose Instagram post. And I have the premium version here, but you don't have to have that. And like literally, I just picked this one here. And if you have a picture of their whatever dish it is, like just pull it over. I do find that it is great to have pictures from there. If the picture doesn't look that great, Canva even has an option where it actually removes the background for you. Like maybe you have to go with something like this, so you don't, it can just be like floating out here. It doesn't matter. Like pick something. They have so many good ones in here. And then what you can do here is once you customized it, just click animate and choose the animation that you want. And then what will happen is this will download it as a video that you can just upload into your ad, and very, very simple. And now you've got like a little video. In fact, even if you didn't want to use Canva, Facebook itself actually has an option to create videos from within the ads. I don't know if you've actually seen that or not before. Oops, I closed my thing here. Let me just pull this up here a moment. So if you go into let me see, I have way too many windows open, I apologize. If you go into the ads manager, you can actually it actually has an option to, let me just go over here. If you just have an image of their, of their dish or something, you can actually ask it to make an ad for you, and it'll actually give you ideas. It'll give you like templates and stuff like that as well for doing it. You just have to do create slideshow, or you can do create video. I'm just going to do create video here. You can look here, they already have templates for you to use, so you can just create it in here, both for square and for vertical. So Facebook even has it right inside of there. But I'm going to give you two other sources for you to create show-stopping content that I tell you, I've used this before, and I have people saying, wow, like I've never seen this before. How did you do this? So I'm always looking for that little edge, and I'm looking for something that is fast and easy to do that produces wow results. Okay. Another site I like to go to is promo.com. Again, this is paid, but it's way less than paying for a professional videographer to do this, and oftentimes it's better. And I'll just show you here. I typed in restaurant ahead of time, but literally when you go in, what I love about promo, I don't even play around with all the options they have. I'm looking for templates that I can use quickly. So I'm just going to type in restaurant here, and already these templates all come up. They have, as you can hear, that's got background music. They have, this is just like a stock, you could just get a stock video, which you can use from here to create really easily. They already have everything blocked out for you, so why not use it? If you don't want to use a stock video, then if you have pictures from the client, from the restaurant you can use, just put those in and just have it like zoom in on the picture and pan on the side. Just even that little movement helps a lot. But they already, look, they even give you basically the content for it almost, special for Memorial Day weekend, sandwich life. These look so pro. I have done these, and I'm telling people think that it costs thousands of dollars to create this, and all I'm doing really is using promo. So I personally like promo. Another one I like to use is Wave Video, but I've just found promo super fast and easy to do to create these types of videos. And I'm going to show you one more that I use. And this one, I was really hesitant to use at first because I thought this looks really cheesy, okay? And it's never going to work. But this is one thing I've learned, and I think you'll hear a lot of other pro buyers tell you this as well, is often we bring to the table our own biases, right? Saying, oh, this will probably work, this probably won't work. And sometimes what we'll do is we'll say, hey, I'm not going to try this because I don't think it's actually going to work. And I was like that for a while. And what I've done is I really had to disengage my emotions from the creative, say, let's just test it out. And this one, I was really glad that I tried it out and I tested it out. And I was even more shocked that some of these ads started winning. So I found this service called Breakout Clips. You could actually create these clips from other software. They have these, but I thought these were the cheesiest things in the world. And why would anybody use it? But you know what? I've used it now more often, and every time I've used it, the clients said to me, where'd you get that video? How did you do this? Oh my gosh, I've never seen anybody do this before. And it just grew me, like in their eyes, I now became this mega superstar, okay? And I was just using something like this. So for example, they have one here that's like, even just like a burger. Okay, so you just click this. I'll give you a couple of tricks here. So first is, let me just go here to customize it. And they give you all these graphics and stuff to use with it, but you can replace it if you want. And what I'll do is, and I'm sorry it's taking so long, one thing you'll notice is that the previews are showing like 1,000 likes. They do have an option to turn that off. You have to turn that off when you're running ads, because seeing reactions and stuff, those are actually trademarked by Facebook and Instagram. So putting those in your ad could get you shut down. So you want to make sure that they have a little toggle that say, hey, toggle this off, and it'll actually fix it for you. And I don't know, of course it is freezing when I want to show you how to do it, but let me just log in again and to show you. But they do have a little toggle for you to do that. And the other key thing too is, let me just pick this one, I guess it's tacos. Who doesn't like tacos, right? So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to toggle this to say, make this ad friendly, skip to her, make this ad friendly. So you notice it took it away. what I find is I actually put some of the ad copy in here. And what I'm finding is because these are a little bit mesmerizing, because it's cheesy, it's kind of weird, but there is something about just like watching it over and over and over again, and that's what you want. You want people to stop, and you want people to see watching it. What I find is happening is that by watching it, they're actually reading the copy over here. So you can see here it's got like a little editor. You can do that, and then you can just publish it. Oops, sorry, it is so loud. You can just publish it and download it. And you don't even have to make it food themed, for example. I like to use I think there's one that has like water. Again, maybe it's not showing here. I'll use something like water, like I'll find one that works well. I just found this water one very mesmerizing. So I'll put in the copy, just in the caption here, like in the actual video, I'll put something like, get this before it's washed away. Or just, again, that sounds really cheesy, right? But this it has worked too often for me to discount it. They have like a shark swimming out at you. Some of the creepier ones don't necessarily work. I've actually also used this to do a campaign for recipes, like recipe books. And I think I used the one with the banana spinning around, like it's healthy recipes, so I can't use a donut. But even the client was like, use more of those, use more of those. So some of these I don't like. Like I don't like these ones with the cats and stuff, but I like the one with, the ocean. They have a couple other ones with food and things like that. So you kind of have to look through it. And other services do provide this as well. I just found that I got a special on this. They had like a whole bunch of different options. Why not use it? But this has just made me stand out. Again, you can do it really easily. It does at least make people stop to read, which I think is helpful. I would still be careful about Facebook policy, like don't have something with dollar bills flying everywhere. I might not, like they have this one for sale. I might not do that. I don't know, just because it looks too much like an ad. But hey, you know what? Test it out, right? Test it out. This one here, so they've got sort of electricity. Again, that just might be interesting. And because they're short, it's going to autoplay, right? So that's what I would do for, to make these eye-catching videos, because I have found that big or small clients, this is what makes me stand out. And these are also the stuff that's harder to make. I don't want to have to hire some videographer to go down there, take footage, pay them a ton of money to, create like a beautiful video. So these things, I've actually profited quite a bit from these shortcuts here. So let me just quickly go. So I think that, for your new restaurant client, once you get it, what you can do is you can have them go get like a VIP, sign up for the VIP list. You can even, for targeting, you can be like people whose birthdays are in the current month and say, hey, sign up for a birthday special. Just be careful you're not calling them out on their personal attributes. Another one you can do is just, again, featured dishes, like the example I showed you. And you can do this for other businesses too, like their featured products or something like that, but just featured dishes, super easy, and super easy for you to have these templates available. So for when you sign up new restaurant clients, it's easy for you to replicate this. All you need is just to change the copy and the creative, but it's following, like a similar formula. So I think that's how you can help. Now, I want to make sure that we have time for questions. So you will have this PowerPoint, and in the previous episode, I went through these checklists a little bit more slowly so you can go through it, but I do follow these for all the campaigns that I run, and I run quite a lot of them. So, and they have served me very well. So I recommend that you go through this, at least follow this for yourself, and then, pivot and edit it to make it work for you. If you find that it doesn't quite work for you, that's totally fine. It's just a great way for you to start. So I'd love to take some questions as well. I'm going to stop showing my screen right now. Are there any questions? We have time for a few questions here.
Yeah, let's dig in and let's kind of see what we've got here. And I'm going to switch our screens over here real quick too, because I want to make sure that before anybody gets out of here that they know where they can go get a replay if they want to for later. So we're going to pop this up and I'm going to pop this in the chat right now before I even get this up so you guys have it. but we have a place that you guys can go sign up for a replay. And with that replay, you know, we're going to have the slides, any show notes that we have on these things, and you can just type that in. But we also have that in the chat right now. So a couple of key things, you know, that I want to get out there is the brand new person. You know, there's a lot to consume. There's a lot to learn. The brand new person, obviously, I think both of our advice, Liana, is going to be get out there and do it, right? Just get out there and do it. And even if you screw some stuff up, just getting something out there for $5-10 a day is a good start. And that's how a lot of our ads start. Even, you know, even having all the resources that we have, a lot of our ads start out that way right now. It's just, you know, we put something out there just so we can get it out and start getting some feedback. You know, let's say that you are a restaurant, or let's say that you're an agency and you're trying to get, you know, clients one way or the other. But let's say that you're first getting out there and getting started. What are the most important things, if you had to 80-20 this, right? What are the most important things to getting the ad up and running and getting the landing page? Like, obviously, you know, you want to go ahead and, like, with something with like Customer Engine or ClickFunnels, whatever you happen to be dealing with, you want to get it up fast. But in terms of like actually putting your ad together, let's say that I have 30 minutes and it's my lunch break at the restaurant and I got 30 minutes and I want to get this ad up. What are the most important things if you had to break it down? And these are the questions that I like. You know, if I don't have a ton of time, what are the most important things to getting that ad up fast? What would you put your focus into? And that's the first question that I want to ask you.
Yeah, I would. So if I have 30 minutes to put it up for a new restaurant client, I got my page done on Customer Engine, few minutes. I'm going to go in, just quickly generate the copy with the bots. I'm going to just get an image. I'm not even going to bother with a video, and I'm going to put it up. I'm not even going to bother with targeting. I'm going to put in a zip code. I'm going to target a small community, and I tell you it's up in 15 minutes.
It's perfect. And that's it. And, you know, I think that's where, you know, especially when we get more advanced with this, we tend to, you know, have what are all the things that I can do? And I have so many agency owners and so many restaurant clients that are even doing some of this stuff for themselves, that they will not do it because they don't think they have enough time to do all the steps correctly. And it really is. It's as simple as build your landing page. Like, while we're on the call, I was just checking some stats over in Customer Engine for like some of my personal stuff. I'm getting opt-ins and I'm not put these things out there. You know, there's just like old traffic coming in. And that's the thing that hits you up. Putting one of these things up on your website, throwing something up as a little aside link on a Facebook post, you will get people opted in because they want to know, they want the offer, they want to know more about what you're doing. And so it works like that. And so number one, get the landing page ready to go. And that's big. Next, yeah, 100%. Get in there and start sort of generating something. It doesn't have to be the Mona Lisa that you want to put together down the road. But I think the most important thing, and this is where I love what you said here. This is genius, and this is what I think a lot of ad people do really well, especially at the local level, that people mess up when they're trying to do it themselves and they don't have the experience, is they go too nuts on the targeting. Yeah, we want to refine our targeting. We want our targeting to get better and better and better. But it's always about, you can't do anything unless the thing's running. And from a local level, especially, even if I'm not picking male or female or even a certain age group to start, I just want that zip code in there and I want to put it out there. And you get really amazed, especially because this is what I love to do too, is I will just literally go in without much targeting and traffic. I will go into the initial list that gets built in Customer Engine. I just look at the names. Is it male or female? You know, what does it seem to be leaning more towards? And should I spend more money aiming at that audience? And then, you know, with Customer Engine 2, the other thing I like is that we actually track the coupon codes that we send out. So you can actually say, okay, maybe we got, you know, 5-to-1 males, but the females are the ones that are actually coming in. So you know now that you've got the conversion. And so even though we're getting more opt-ins from males, I'm like, no, I'm going to spend my money on females. And so just getting those things up is insanely important. So we have a question from John Lilly that I want to put in front of you, because I think a lot of agencies, especially newer ones that are doing Facebook ads, they run into this. John Lilly says, I'm confused as to getting access to Facebook ads for business. Does the business have to give us their access to the Facebook ads manager? And this is a good one for you to pick up.
Yeah, so it depends how you want to run your ads. So right? And I'm like, oh, great, here she goes again. But there's two ways to do this, okay? Number one, use your own brand right? And you run ads and you're generating leads for other people, which is totally fine. If you're doing that, you're paying for everything, it's in your own ad account, just bill it out. You bill out the flat rate, whatever it is. They don't need to know what you're spending. You just bill
Use
that
that.
out. You don't have to worry.
Make sure you're getting points on your card though if you're doing it that way. That's
Yes, definitely. Get those points on your card. They even have like a crypto card now, right? You can get points. So you want to get that. Two, the other way to do it is you're running ads for the client on their properties. That means the client is paying for it. It's going to their credit card. If that is the case, the best practice is for you to be added as a partner to their business manager.
and we'll try to what we'll try to do, Ashton and Katie, remind me, let's get a video. There's a lot of really good videos on YouTube that we've referred people to in the past on this replay page. Let's make sure we link to one of those of how to actually get added as a partner on Facebook. And there's actually some cool apps coming out soon that I've seen some people put together that make that process easier too. So we'll try to make sure we include some of that in the replay so we don't, because I know we don't have it pulled up to do that right now, but we'll show you guys the best practices on that too, because if you want to do it that way, I'm a big run it on mine and run it for points. I call me crazy, but if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to bill them, get all my money back, but then I'm going to build some points up, and it's a good way to do it. So especially like you said with the crypto stuff, because that's where our heads have been at lately. So I love it. Let's see here what we got. Joseph says, Adkins, I signed up for the replay on the first webinar, but I never got the replay. Here's what you do at any point, Joseph. If you ever run into problems, go to drbenhelp.com, drbenhelp.com. At any point something that we built breaks, go there and my team will just send you something directly. And like I said, if for some reason Joseph says, hey, you know, I'm in this area of the world and sometimes texts don't get delivered there, we can get you fixed up, buddy. So it probably does have to do with where you're located. That happens, but we'll get you fixed up. So that's good. Let me see what else we've got here. Tony says, Liana, do you have the tools you use for stock photos, copy, visuals? Do you have a list with cost? I'm not going to make anybody put cost down for you, but I will make sure we get a set of links for you in the show notes. I'll make sure my team gets those, and we'll get those from Liana, and we'll get those into the show notes for you. So should be fun. We'll get that done. I'm looking at my list. Sorry. If you see something you want to answer, go right ahead. I got quite a few things. Let's see if we can look here. Let's see. So a lot of folks saying thanks for sharing conversion.ai. Yeah, that's an excellent, excellent tool, especially if you're doing a lot of copy and specifically you want certain things. Like I like the way that they do a lot of things. And it is like I've seen it beat humans because humans will outthink themselves sometimes.
And again, you're not writing a Pulitzer Prize winner. Just like do it, right? Whatever gets you to put it out, do it.
Exactly. Let's see here. We've got some questions with replay being posted. We've answered that. Got some suggestions here. Let's see, that's good. I
think somebody said how small a community. Yeah, just however small Facebook allow you to do it. Ben and I both know people and have run campaigns for like a community of like 10,000, 20,000 people. I think the smaller the community, you just have to have more creative so that they don't get bored with what you're putting out there.
Yeah, 100%. And it's, a lot of this ad stuff sometimes is getting the first one out there so you can start catching a vibe for what people respond to. And that's the thing. It's amazing how very few opt-ins to your campaign or very few purchases, if you're doing something like that, starts to tell a story. And that's the thing. I don't know anybody on the planet that is good at nailing an ad the first time. Anybody. I mean, I don't care how professional you are, how long you've been doing this. I don't know anybody on the planet. A really good ads person is not good at guessing how to run an ad the first time. A really good ads person is good at getting data and applying that data to refining from there. That's the thing. If you want to talk about marketing and this kind of thing, especially for small business, it is having a client that you work with or being the kind of business, if you're a business owner yourself, it's being the kind of business that's willing to work with somebody over a period of time, because the ad that you run, even a successful ad that you run in month 1 versus an ad that you run in month 6 based on 6 months of learning, it's going to be just a completely different ballgame. And so, with anybody that we teach, because Customer Engine is an app that we developed and built, and when we teach people this, it's like, Get yourself 2 to 3 months, at the very least, to start this trek of, understanding what the market responds to, how to throw an ad out there. But really, it's going to be in those. It's going to be in that second, third, fourth quarter of your year with that client, or if you're working with an ad company that you're working with them. If you give them that, a year down the road, you're going to have something that nobody else, none of your competitors will have, because your competitors will stop after 2 months. They'll stop after 4 months because, maybe they got distracted with something else. And you will have something that is amazing because you built it from the ground up and you pulled data. And that's the thing. You want to know businesses like Facebook, businesses like Netflix, the reason they're so good, it's the data they've collected. They have a decision-making process that no one else does. And for your restaurant, for your chiropractic office, for your agency, when you're running ads, that is the value. You're collecting data so that you know more than anybody else does, no matter where you're advertising. And so that's, you want to know why we're so big on how do you get an ad up fast? How do you do all these things right, but how do you get up fast? It's because as soon as the learning process starts, that's when you start getting there. And I'm going to tell you, the folks that come out of this pandemic and really take it to the next level, yes, they're going to sign up for marketing that they never signed up for before, because you have to now. It's not a question. It's fundamentals. You have to now. But it's those folks that are going to say, I'm going to do what I can to get to the second, third, and fourth quarter of a year working with this program, and what we'll have on the other side is big. So that's the thing. If you're a restaurant, if you're a business, and Liana will back me up on this, make sure you're working with someone that understands its progress. It's a progressive thing. That's what I'm looking for when I'm talking to, because listen, we know how to run ads, but I hire ad agencies for us, because we want someone that is running this stuff for us while we're focusing on the other stuff. That's what all businesses should be doing. You shouldn't be doing everything, because that's a great way to go broke. But the idea here is get it out, go fast, learn what's happening, look at the kinds of folks that are opting in, look at what they're doing when they do opt in, and start, adjusting your actual advertising based on that data. And it's hard to really go wrong from there. We can get super complicated, can't we? But but that is the core of it. But listen, the list of tools that you gave us today and kind of where to use those in the process, that's priceless. I mean, you guys are getting a world-class education on ads and how to put together the whole process here. So, hey, let's plug something you're doing. I know you didn't know I was going to do this, but you are speaking at a pretty big event here pretty soon. Can you tell me about that and tell everybody else? Because I want them to, get to check this out too. So you got a big one coming up. What is it?
Yes, so I am actually going to be speaking at AdWorld with my partner Jordan Swanson, and we're actually there helping add skills, and we're actually talking about omnichannel marketing. So it's a bit of more of a high level, but it's super exciting. They say that they get like 50,000 registrants a year going to that, so there'll be a lot of eyeballs on there. It's a pretty big deal, so I'm super excited about that.
Well, that's where you belong, in front of lots of people.
With all the other geeks, yes.
Well, that's what I love. It's folks that you're sort of one of my best kept secrets, and that's as much as I love you being a best kept secret, there's no reason that more people don't need to know this stuff. And that's the thing. You and I both take the mindset of it's not about keeping secrets. It's about how do we help everybody reach higher, because when other people reach higher, when the restaurant down the street reaches higher, I realize that if somebody walks into that restaurant, then my restaurant next door also comes up too, because people are coming by it. And so I think that's the way I look with online businesses too. Anytime we help grow by sharing techniques, we all win, because then we all sort of get a leg up and we can keep going. So I'm so pumped because you're a rock star that, listen, I know a lot of people know about you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be like, you're unknown. A lot of people know about you, but we need you speaking to more people about this stuff. And so I'm pumped. I can't wait. And when is that again? What's the date on that?
That's in May. I don't have the exact date, but no, I agree with you. A rising tide lifts all boats, and I'm all about sharing as much as possible, because it can only help us. It can only help all of us. And again, I keep going back to the more that you share, you're seen as the connector, you're seen as a leader, business will flow to you, and there's enough business for everybody. So just focus on helping people.
And that's what it's all about. That's 100% what it's all about, is when you get sort of in that mode, it's amazing what happens. So listen, we've got in the chat right now, we've got where you can go to sign up for this. Let's make sure that we get that in there one more time. It is spskr and .com/rsb2. That is if you want to be on for the replay. I will make sure we get you guys a replay sent. We'll have show notes in there. We'll have the slides. We'll have this replay so that you guys can go back and watch this, because there's a lot of stuff that this is a 2 or 3 watcher at least to pull out everything that Liana put in there for us today. So I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm so grateful for your time. I'm going to let you sign us off. If there's anything you want to say before we get out of here, feel free. And I'm going to get out of your way one more time so that you can do that.
Sure, it was a highlight of my day to be here, and I just want to encourage everybody, take what's here, take action, and just report back in. So I hope you all have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Be good. Sign up. We'll be sending out your replay as soon as it gets done. We'll see you next time.